What is this place? I think you're right, though it looks like no one's been here in ages. I doubt the electricity still works. We should find a flashlight if we want to go on. There should be one in my kinema.
An eerie feeling rises in your chest.
Yes, because it's closed. No need to look for supernatural explanations where a banal one will...
A barbell lies on the floor. The color has worn off its weight plates. It's 60 kilograms. Your triceps hum at the sight of these weights. Show the world what kind of beast it's dealing with. Lift them. There are no collars on the barbell. This is a safety hazard. Why does it feel so familiar?
You're right. The weight may fall off. Better not touch it then. It would be a violation of EPIS safety regulations if the gym was still operating, but it isn't. No one's supposed to come here anymore. It's dark. This would be a lot easier. I've got one in the kinema's toolbox. We should go back for it before we continue. No sense in tripping around.
Some areas are inaccessible.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out, a metallic drawer.
Take what you need, officer. It's going to be a long case. I'm not protective of...
He's clearly a little protective of his tools. But what can... It's robust, weatherproof, and lets you see things in the dark you would otherwise. The pry bar, useful for opening all sorts of doors and lids. The handles are long and sleek. Snap, snap, go the cutters. The pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest. The frequency tableau, the soft purr of electrical kittens.
This is Precinct 57. Hello, Lieutenant.
Hello, Alice. Please assist our colleague from the 41st Precinct here. I'm putting him on.
This is Officer Alice Demetri, Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Just a second, officer.
10-2, 10-5. This is 41st. Come in. Over.
A scrawny old man sits in a dusty cubicle, smoking, with a large white rectangle. The man uses relay code.
10-4, message received. 10-5, relay message. 10-18, state your message, sir. Roger that. 10-10. Over and out.
It's dark. And the flashlight works a lot better if you hold it in your hand. Yes, you might even call it a feature of the universe that you need to hold tools to use them. Right. Now let's get to it.
Some areas are inaccessible without your flashlight. After you've acquired it, go to your inventory and equip it in a held slot to continue exploring.
It's dark. And the flashlight works a lot better if you...
Your flashlight slides over an old green chalkboard covered in scribbles, sketches, and schemes like some ancient cave mural. Some of the writing has faded with age, but you can still make out sections here and there. The handwriting is only partly legible. This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Minimi stands for A. As time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer. The board becomes an empty snowfield in the final days. Only failure and regret dwell in this region.
Looks like they didn't make it.
A note in the bottom left corner of the chalkboard says, "See the prod schedule filament for details." The photo collage depicts barren, icy landscapes wrapped in perpetual night. You see permafrost and glacial landforms, dead trees groaning under the snow. Entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. There are pictures of settlements on dried up riverbeds, abandoned in a storm. Animal corpses in the dark, carcasses and bones. You see primitive oil rigs built into glaciers, boreal dvorg, yurts under the snow, great mammoth-like beasts, albeit dark and cold. This vision also feels cozy in its own way, like eggnog or morphine. A much-needed pinned postcard reads, "The heat death scenario, a desperate fight for geothermal energy engulfs the world as Wirral becomes untethered from its sun, drifting through the universe." These lithe, pointy-eared creatures appear to be different types of welkins. You make out autumnal candle welkins, casting, wax-based, translucent welkins, with organs shining under their skin, and even ether welkins, hailing from the vast emptiness of sidereal space. Who are all those creatures? Fantasies of a tortured, feverish mind? You should adopt one of those welkins as your persona. No longer a mere man, but a welkin. One of the welkins, towering among the rest, appears to be different, however. It's Vara Hamira, a high welkin, his face white and scarred like cracked marble. This is clearly a Welkin supremacist. The note says, all non-Welkin races will be purged. The Haldor, the Tworg, the humans, and even headless men, all of them, purged. Imagine a world filled only with Welkin, Green Welkin, Dread Welkin, and the High Welkin to rule them all.
An inordinate amount of time has gone into drawing these little Welkin creatures. Political commentary. That one has a great beard, too. Just look at those details. So much effort.
And for what? All gone. This appears to be some kind of machine with a cube-shaped heart and a wired framework. The keyboard has a rectangular on-off button. A piece of paper still hangs from the printer.
A radio computer. Just sitting here without anyone inside. We have one of these down at the station, but I never really learned how to use it.
The machine lights up like some prehistoric animal stirring from its slumber, revealing fluorescent play and print keys on the keyboard. The hatch on the machine's central compartment is wide open. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. It's empty like a beehive without its brood. Some cables have been left dangling.
This is where the memory should go.
Nothing happens. This old fireplace is covered in lines drawn in blue and red marker, the mesh spreading over the stone like blood vessels on alabaster skin. It looks ghostly and strangely ancient. The whole thing resembles Cadran mosaic tiles. Very pedantic. History classes, students with their textbooks open, studying the roots of our civilization. Those aquarelle blue tiles looked beautiful in the sun. Radio frequencies, it seems. UKV 123.6, UKV 123.7, UKV 123.9. Some written notes, too. Sparse and cryptic. Unclear. It looks like a cardiovascular system split into veins and capillaries. Very advanced. You think so? The web is comprised of radio stations, all lead back to one red heart, titled the Game Master Frequency. A note says, this one can listen in on any station it wants. Whoever decides to call in to a call-in station, it looks like. All of this is gone, left unrealized. There's no way a little basement studio working here could pull anything like this off.
My God. It's as if the less money they had, the more ambitious their project became. The schedule. I know doom when I see it. The company was running out of funding.
Nothing. It's just lines on marble. An echo from times long gone. No one has used the fireplace in ages.
Okay. What do you think is going on with that computer, chalkboard, and fireplace? Yes, that is the question. It looks like one of those popular pen and paper role-playing games, only these people were trying to automate it, make it work on radio computers.
Utter madness, he thinks, as a compliment.
Indeed, those Welkins are a dead giveaway. Role-playing people love that stuff. The world looks like a modified version of the We World board game, with hit death thrown in.
Super cool. Someone
Through call-in stations, none of the players have to be physically present. Anyone in the world can participate in the game, as long as they have a two-way radio. Then there's the Game Master frequency that listens in on the smaller call-in stations. I think that was supposed to coordinate the stories, functioning as a master of ceremonies of sorts. Not to my knowledge. They make automated games in Graz, Messina, Königstein. You know, places with industry.
Not in Revachol West, among...
But I don't think anyone has attempted to create no idea. They stopped filling out the schedule on the chalkboard. Indeed, it's ambitious and untethered from reality, but... It's too late for that, I'm afraid. Okay, let's keep moving.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering. Like a smooth draw, the filament slides into place. On the keyboard, the play key starts blinking. A bar of fabric right above the keyboard starts producing a soft hum. The sound of static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. Have you stirred the ghost of the doomed commercial area from its rest? Could this be its dismembered heart beginning to flutter? The static gets louder, slowly filling up the abandoned hall, until a voice speaks up.
Good afternoon. Fortress accident en rue de Saint-Ghislaine. This is East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the production schedule? The filament you have inserted into the reader. That was a question. Have you inserted it into the core? Good. Please repeat the password.
Password? Of course it would have a password. That's why there's a human administrator involved. You should ask her for a hint.
No.
A hint system is not part of the protocol for repeater stations.
Still no. I am contractually obliged to protect the privacy of the filament holder Fortress accident. Without filing a warrant with Lintel, I cannot...
I'm afraid we are not doing that, unless we want to wait for a month.
Now, can you please repeat the password? Received. I will register this login attempt.
Don't worry. Passwords have a way of turning up sooner or later.
Fortress accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today? Thank you, and goodbye.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering. Casting, nothing happens. The filament slides out of its glowing nest. You see a terrifying ice bear with a strange compartment in its belly. The door is covered in frost and the bear's eyes are glowing red. The bear looks oddly realistic. Is it taxidermy? A gust of freezing cold air rushes to greet you. You hear a low grumble as the bear regulates itself. The lieutenant takes a peek inside. His hand has found the holster of his gun.
Of course, just a giant ice bear-shaped fridge. Let's take a look inside.
The shelves are empty. All you see are crumpled up. You pocket the note and the little fridge magnets keeping it on the...
You've acquired an interactable item. Investigate this item further by going to the Interact tab in...
A friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you from a glossy cellophane wrapper.
Good question. It looks like an ice cream fridge. I know. What an unfortunate marketing choice. What is even worse, the bear is still costing them money to this day.
The fridge buzzes. The note is written with a blue pencil on a piece of lined office paper. The kitchen magnets have left spots on its surface.
Does it say anything interesting?
This is tangential at best, but someone has scribbled, S. I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the studio, so I had to hide it somewhere safe. You'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home, ASAP. It's important. I'd do it myself if I lived in a civilized place with a freezer. Take care, Sully Soif.
Looks like someone from that radio game company upstairs. I'm a little surprised they just left their property lying here. That's a plausible hypothesis. I don't know. I assume it's somewhere close to the ice bear fridge.
A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in.
There is, yes. And there also appears to be something inside the hole. Interesting. Do you want...
Your hand reaches deep into darkness and spiderwebs. Rummaging around, you find rusty rifles hidden away. Most of them are rusty and inoperable, like the rest, but one catches your eye. A bolt-action model with a fine wood stock, in better cosmetic order than the others. Take it. You're a police officer. Police officers carry guns.
That's a rare sight. Seems to no longer be functional, but still a beautiful thing in its own way. It means there are firearms, albeit inoperable, still lying around in Martinez. It's an interesting coincidence, I would say. Might come in useful in the future.
He likes this find. This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner on top. Turning the crank feels oddly satisfying, like it's all gone now. You'll never become a poet or an entrepreneur. You slip your fingers under the frozen lid, but the ice is too cold for you to get a good grip. If you want to try again, then you need to have the pry bar in your...
Equip the pry bar by going to the Tools tab in your inventory. From there, you can equip it to a held...
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner. The ice squeaks beneath the pry bar. You think you see the pry bar's metal handle bending right before your very...
Yeah, well, That's a good pry bar, I'm not criticizing it, but this ice cream maker is frozen shut. It takes an advanced tool to get it open. I have no idea, officer. This ice cream maker isn't important enough.
Sooner or later, you will stumble. 2 cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads to the ice bear fridge, and the black one to the ice cream maker nearby. Something close to you dies with a soft electric current.
Why did you do that?
The lieutenant raises his brows, but does an electric sizzle. The room is slightly quieter now. This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand. Turning the crank is all gone now. You'll never become a poet or an entrepreneur. The ice squeaks beneath. You see that
Yeah, well, I have no idea.
sooner or later. A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black. Looks like this furnace has a face, and it's a face of agony.
Looks like it. Looks like an old central furnace used to heat the building. It's connected to the chimney. No one has used it in ages. No signs of any recent fire. Only dead rats.
It's dark and grimy here. In the darkness you can hear chatter. It's coming from above. A voice.
What are you doing? Wait, really? We should investigate, see if someone's upstairs.
A hollow ring echoes through the furnace. Your toe hurts. Something breaks loose in you. A mighty bellow echoes throughout the chimney's depths. The chatter of tiny voices above suddenly cease. Then,
Hello?
you've awakened the entity.
Hello? Did you say anything? I can't hear you. Please come upstairs. There's a safety curtain on the second floor. I'll open it.
You hear a low rumble upstairs. The sound of
After you, officer.
This orange machine is dead still. You slip your fingers under the frozen lid, but the ice is too cold for you to get a good grip. If you want to try again, then you need to have the...
Equip the pry bar by going to the Tools tab in your inventory.
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. The ice around it slowly melting. An old call box, East Delta Commerce Center. You ring the door. What an ominous name for a hair salon. Looks like someone tried to reconceptualize their business here. Look, the skis and rotor blades both bear the same Slipstream logo. It seems likely that they started out making one, failed to turn a profit, and then pivoted to producing the other. That's a good question. Reality is ruthless.
What have you found? And also, do buy the books. Okay, but please, only a few questions. You wouldn't want to disturb the spirits.
The woman before you. This coin-operated viewer is why place a tourist attraction in the middle of such...
There must be another way into the building.
Trying to sneak up on me.
Logic error. She is not sleeping right now.
Pig's come to take me out. Trying to snuff me out. Then why are you sneaking?
This is a wall on the side of an apartment building. You have no clue. So many walls all over. A striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around her throat.
Good afternoon, officers. I'm Joyce. Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM. I'm glad to see you here. I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter,
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode.
There's a trace of irony in his voice. Mischief, even. The lieutenant is hatching some scheme.
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines group.
It's hard to get a read on her precise disposition.
What we do. I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking. The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the shipping side of things. And that is the terminal.
The Wild Pines group is what Saint-Baptiste, Elysium.
Why, thank you.
She nods.
Why, yes, I am. Good. Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets. I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relate.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago. After that, now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter-20 racist behemoth blocking the gates. What can I say? The union employs a giant covered in tattoos. A racist giant. I guess that's part of their big tent organisation now. Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first...
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site.
But the strike began in December.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior...
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike.
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more... Mr. Clare told him to... How did he put it? Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature. Yes.
Sounds like usual
There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Oh yes, every worker, a member of the board.
Most of the workers probably don't know what that means.
In its defense, another said, demand democracy. Pretty tame stuff compared to every... Fortunately, they explained it. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about anything, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers. Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000... I'm not sure. Naturally, I assume that was just their opening position. And now, people are getting lynched,
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the boyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, call me mañana.
This checks out.
The scabs? You mean the huddled masses of Jamrock, come to plead for work where the union refuses to? If they were organized by Wild Pines, or...
It's implied. She's open to discussing this matter with you at a later occasion.
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first. Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood. He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is... Yes, Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does, and it's how they circumvent the term limits, you see. The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that. Organized labor at its...
A mob. The Débardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, I suspect we'll be forced to cooperate.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company... And your opinion, detective, if I may ask. I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Débardeurs Union is... Of course, officer. I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the union.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chap, indeed. But the point of the presentation is...
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be...
Of course. How else can... Quite a few things, I'm afraid. The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi, from Precinct 57. And this is my colleague from Precinct 41. I'm afraid he doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will...
How curious. Why is that, detective?
Sadness washes over the conversation. The woman doesn't like this turn of events.
I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode? Oh dear. Some kind of encephalopathic amnesia. I do believe you, naive as that may sound. I simply can't imagine what you gain by fake...
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer.
Of course, I sympathize. But I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've seen that badge.
Hang on. She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement. She's a negotiator. Just float a favor at her. Insinuate.
I will be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want to see something.
You're in, but expect her to drive a hard bargain.
Reports from inside Terminal B suggest it's a hub for the local drug trade. This is an open secret in Martinez. The Union controls the terminal, so it goes to reason.
They're profiting from this trade.
The company has tried looking into this matter before, to no avail. Or, you can recover your badge. Though if I may be blunt with you, it sounds like that may be a...
Detective, a word in private before we continue. This is not going quite as I hoped it would, Detective. Honestly, I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance, and not volunteer us to be her henchman. This woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced badge all along, or she's simply an adept improviser. Either way, we've played straight into her.
He doesn't let it show, but there is a limit to how much...
I'm sure you will, Detective. No. If there is reasonable suspicion, we must... What I propose is, we ask her, then we investigate, briefly. But do not share the outcome of this investigation. Oh, that would be fantastic, but do we have the time?
The situation might have changed drastically by the time you locate it.
You could request a new one from your station, but that would literally take months.
Yeah, you better keep walking. Look at me when I'm talking to you.
A sturdy metal door guards the southwest entrance to the apartment building. The door rattles against your knuckles, but there's no response. The door rattles again, but this time you hear...
Stop banging on the door! I'm not letting any more strangers inside. Ha! The police? Everyone knows the police don't come round here. No, I already told you. Go check the backyard door. Maybe someone there will.
Backyard door? There must be another
Madame, I assure you, we are real police officers.
There is no reply.
Up here, Piggo.
The streets will flow red once more. A great torrent rushing down Rue de Esperance. You wait and see.
The streets will not flow red with anything.
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth, blood type, the last time I was tested for Hep C.
Go where? Accosting a mine.
Listen to your partner, pigman. Keep your grubby hooves off little old lady.
The lieutenant is desperately searching for another handkerchief. Hatred, disgust. It's difficult to tell which of the two is. The woman on the boat does not notice her.
That Ozon her. Someone's got to keep an eye on her.
Ozon is an archipelago 2 days' travel away from Rivershore. Its moneyed residents, used to posh restaurants and upscale boutiques, rarely have reason to visit Martinique.
On a first-name basis with her, are we? Have you got a crush on her? Aching for an opportunity to defend her honor. Can't you tell? I'm painting a I haven't really started it yet. Have you ever tried your hand at graffiti? We rarely see pigs round here, though.
She wants it to be something true and total.
This place is severely lacking in heaven. I thought I'd mix it up. You know, yeah? Thanks.
You've lessened her desire to deface the building.
I ain't no snitch, pig.
Actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in a normal.
We weren't put on this earth to make your life pleasant. Watch your back, ungulate. You've got eyes on.
There must be another way into the building.
You see a young man on a balcony nursing a cigarette. His eyes have...
Not looking for any trouble, officer.
It's the voice of someone who has something to hide, my liege.
I don't want to be seen talking to the gendarmerie, if that's okay. I just want to finish my cigarette.
Don't let him go. This could be your witness. The balcony has a great view of the whole thing.
Is it really that important?
Like a nervous cat, he keeps stealing looks at the neighboring windows.
All right, but make it quick. Once I finish this cigarette, I have to run. I'd even go so far as to say that the view is a little too good, my dear gendarme. Do you have an estimate of when the body will be taken?
We will remove the body as soon as possible.
Oh.
Wait, is someone else investigating the lynching?
No, not you. Some more muscular type.
And when did you speak to this?
Last week? I don't know. Look.
He's an actor declaiming a soliloquy.
You didn't answer the question.
I had a friend over. It was my Sunday friend.
Makes sense. Friends are nice on Sunday. You don't have to work. You can just spend time with pals, watching rugby and drinking beer. He doesn't reply, gesturing no with his...
My name? My name?
Martin Martinez. Good local name. Let's go with that.
No. We won't. Now, if you'll excuse me, I really need to get going.
This isn't the place or time for questions. Who knows who might be watching from the distance? For a moment, the man on the balcony seems almost vulnerable. Something moves in the depths of his feline eye.
I am sorry, but I really don't have the information you're looking for.
But, hold on. What's that? For a split second, his hand lingers, as though gesturing towards a stone placed right next to the front door. It's a sign.
Good luck with the investigation.
He's gone. No point in running. Tenements like these often have He could be a witness. He did leave us a sign. Did you see that? He wanted to draw our attention. If we find a way inside...
A stone, like there's a key beneath it.
This must be for the front door. We'll just have to go in and see.
That isn't just a five-pointed star. It's an inverted white pentagram cradled in a wreath of antlers, the iconography of communism, in other words. The star and antlers was developed in the 6th decade of the last century and quickly adopted by Mezov and the communards during the revolution. Even today, half a century after, the star and antlers retains the ability to if nothing at all yet, right? This door has been closed with a padlock. A chalk-drawn number on the board says, "Number, it's a solid lump of metal, but the shackle is deeply corroded. Better whip out those cutters. You won't get very far otherwise." This door has been closed with a padlock. But what are you doing? You're trying to cut the body of the lock with the chain cut.
I believe it's the shackle you mean to cut, Detective.
He's just trying to help. Don't take it bad. Relax.
Perhaps you should give it another go.
It's a solid lump of metal, but the shackle is deeply corroded.
You seem committed to it, so go on.
The shackle snaps.
After you, Detective.
A plaster cast bust depicts Graz.
The White Star, the photos.
You hear someone walk. The walking stops. You can feel tension. A poor communard.
Do I have to open it? Do you have a warrant?
Let's go. We don't have a reason to get in.
It's generally easy.
Give me a moment. The cold never does any good for my bronchitis. Go ahead then.
She's the cleaning lady.
Oh, you'll find plenty of Martins here. Don't you worry. Pea-brain, someone played a trick on you. Martin Martinez is a name for anyone who comes from Martinaise, like Chim Jam.
Oops. You really didn't get the joke.
I thought it was obvious. Anyway, officer, we don't have the witness's name.
Yes, I know who you mean.
Somewhere in the building.
What's he in trouble for? Talk? He lives upstairs in room 2.
Thank you. We should go check.
You hear someone walking around inside. A poor. This door is made of metal and appears to be reinforced. Number 28. This is where the...
Let's see if anyone's...
No one answers.
Looks like the young man we are looking for isn't home. I think our best chance to catch him is in the evening. We should return tomorrow after we have finished with our day's work. How about 9 p.m.? Sound good? Tomorrow, 9 p.m., right here. Apartment number 28.
Damn. Turns out it's quite tricky finding someone in a big apartment building. Don't worry. You'll get him. Remember, tomorrow, he's probably gone for today.
shame. Whining about your back every time you bring out the measuring tape.
René, you're a man with a
I'm trying to.
These manly men are playing balls. That's the spirit. Don't even waste your breath asking about the game. They wouldn't know anyway. They're way past their prime. You are immediately surprised by the ball's lack of weight. No matter, you'll make it work.
Merde! Bordel de merde!
It wasn't mid. The shot was at least 23 meters. Probably 24 and then some. Nothing.
What the hell is your problem? I don't care if you are a cop. You do not just ruin someone's game. It's so goddamn You vandalized our game, son. We can't play pétanque with 5 bull. No, you don't. Our pétanque game is ruined.
Take it easy, René. This is just a misunderstanding, isn't it?
Of course there's harm done, you orange slug. You are as a goddamn bull. Will this... No, it will goddamn not.
Thank you, officer. This is really something. Honestly, I think it's better than...
Mon Dieu. All right.
You never know. Just talk. It'll...
Unfortunately, I don't. Unlike most of the locals, I have no qualms about assisting law enforcement. But this affair has passed me by completely. In Martinez, the union is the law. So can you really blame them? Cop is a pejorative term. I don't have a problem with policemen. If I knew, I would not be afraid to tell you.
'Tis true, sire. He knows nothing.
Ah, yes! King Philip III, on his steed.
Oh!
A superpower, feared and respected. A testament to what this country... Right.
This orange machine is dead. You slip your finger. If you want to try again, then you need...
Equip the pry bar by go...
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. The ice around it slowly melting. The ice squeaks beneath the pry bar. You think you've got the bar jammed in there pretty well, but the lid simply won't. You see the pry bar's metal handle.
Yeah, well, that's a good pry bar. I'm not criticizing it, but this ice cream maker is frozen shut. I have no idea, officer. This ice cream maker isn't important in...
Sooner or later, you will stumble upon a tool mighty enough. Then we will know what's in this mysterious ice cream. A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black. It's dark and grimy.
What are you doing? Wait, really? You should investigate, see if someone's upstairs.
Hello, I'm Nia. Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Milius. So what kind of die?
Could this be the malicious entity? Perhaps it's wise to go along with this. She's got a direct view to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching.
I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here.
Role-playing games? You know the one made by Fortress Accident. Does that count?
Very good. Take a look around and see if there's any...
It almost looks as if the stones and dice are a natural part of the room. This person means you or no one else. Absolutely no harm. She will answer free. No falsehoods are present.
How did I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's an unfocused field with too much competition. Some of my friends were role players, not especially. I like working with rare materials.
She's thankful for the security they provide her.
We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know. But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent.
Plaisance was right. There's an entity living in the chimney. You should...
Creative.
I've heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true. Plaisance, the bookshop lady? I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energies spared her somehow? All right, but it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the whirling in rags? Some people say it's part of the building complex. And then there is me. I've been here for
Maybe it's just because she's so talented that she's been able to woo the curse. Time has come to face the source. Fear not, for the forces of the universe are supporting you in this psychic quest.
Exactly. Truth is, but I'm glad we got this sorted out.
That's all she has to say on the subject. She's been thorough and truthful. Blaisance is not going to like what you have to tell her.
Nothing really.
The lieutenant looks at his notebook. Then,
Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual?
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window. Well, there's always something going on in the Whirling's backyard. During daytime, there are usually those kids, and lately I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be because
she's heard of the murder, but did not. She's not sorry to disappoint you. Informing on someone in a murder investigation.
But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday. I might have, but in this case, all I would have seen is my own reflection staring back from the darkness. It's really hard to make anything out. It's an odd profession, making dice for people, but I like it.
She nods.
Anything else, officer?
What have you found? And also, do buy the books. There may be teachings. A novelty dice maker? Well, spit it out. Why does she need the dice? For some kind of sorcery? Sometimes they use the ankle bones of sheep. I don't understand. If it's not her, then where is the source of the doom? How did she explain the curse?
The narrative she's built herself. It does need tearing. Just don't say you don't have any answer yet. To hell with it. Perchance you ought to just lie, sire.
A third order presence, yes.
A great dark relief.
I've heard of these triactors. In certain occult I understand everything, sir. Thank you for your descending into the maelstrom. I will keep... May the Lord be with you.
Well, this has been absolutely educational. If we happen on the third present...
Yes. The venture continues.
Should we get out of here? Before the vortex collapses?
On the counter, rolled out of his open hand, you see a blister pack of headache medicine. You gently shake his The man does not mind.
You've just picked up some magnesium. This item is...
A thin man is smoking below an exhaust hood, occasionally sipping from his mug. As you step in, okay, it's definitely not his name. Whatever you do, please don't call him Garancy Quebec. Please, it's not funny. The man puts his cup down and replies something, his left hand drawing arcs in the air. He smiles and bangs his ladle against each. It's almost like music, especially with the sounds of assorted dishes. You see a heavy steel door. You immediately feel drawn to the color. Blue is for mystery.
You do? It's a door in the back of the kitchen. Why do you care where it leads? Eccentric. But okay, I suppose we could look.
He's not bothered by your eccentricity. He seems genuinely intrigued himself.
Gart is the person to ask about this. The cafeteria manager.
The door does not budge. The cobalt blue surface feels rough to The man ponders his cooking utensils and he looks up at you, then looks away quickly. Shrugging is an international sign for no.
Can I help you? What thing? Yes, not the whole damn union, thank God. Just the nastiest and loudest faction. They come here in the evening.
We should find out who this loud faction is, occupying the booth. Loudness means we don't. We have to wait. They'll show up sooner or later.
You glance at the clock on the wall behind the manager. Huh.
Good question.
They're probably getting drunk or protesting something somewhere. Or laying low after the, you know.
Whatever he may feel about you, he can't miss the opportunity to throw you a look of what he assumes is shared understanding.
Yeah. The union guys think they're untouchable. They probably fucking killed that guy or something and now think they can hide out till it all blows over and it's fair weather again in Martinez.
I have a feeling we'll make their acquaintance sooner or later.
Oh yes, that door, sure. There's nothing mysterious about it. No, I don't have a key. I don't know how to get there. And I don't care either. It's not like I've been wondering. Or some boring storage space with a...
He's attempting to maintain an air of indifference. It's absolutely not convincing. He looks at the dust on his finger and wipes.
What?
By the way, you should come back to this thing-based questionnaire if you see anything interesting in the whirling later.
Hello, sweetie.
Wait, who's Sweetie?
Why, you are, officer. And have you found anyone to be sweet to? you rascal.
Your advances haven't thrown her off one bit.
You must forgive me. I'm Lena.
This Lena is wacky enough for the motley crew. Hire her.
Oh, I'm perfectly all right. Don't beat yourself up over it too much. Yes, dear.
A paraplegic is someone with limited or no ability.
That's quite all right.
There is no bitterness in her voice. She accepted the curiosity her condition inspires a long time ago.
Of course, dear.
There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below, ha ha ha, again. Every time it happens, it gets worse and worse. There's nothing more to throw up now. All that's left is crying and convulsing dryly at the same time.
I'm at a loss as well. I could swear you're
Sometimes even that is not enough.
Officer, you just need to be stronger. Learn to keep it in long enough for us to work.
You can open this white check again by going to your character sheet and spending a skill point to upgrade your endurance. Gain new skill points by exploring and completing...
Relax. It's okay if you don't make it today. The bloated corpse isn't going anywhere. Lorry stuck in the traffic jam. The windows are clear. The driver has adorned the back end of a book with
racist nationalist paraphernalia. Likely, yes. This guy's proud of who he is.
Your body betrays your degeneracy.
Yeah, Measurehead. His body totally betrays his degeneracy.
That is precisely the negligence that has led you to succumb to Al Ghul. You reek of it. An invisible sword of Al Ghul emerges from your throat. You cannot see it, but others can. It is making the woman in my company sick. No, you don't. You need to get another drink. Occidental Haplogroup B4 is done giving orders around here. The influence of the ham sandwich race is waning. Begging for help. But you gave the world. You dominate. You will be superseded. Isn't that...
It is, baby, yeah.
There is a button right behind him, just out of reach. It must be the one that opens the door to the harbor.
Enough. Bring your troops. The walls will be lined with bottles of Al Ghul. Your beloved.
Ask what kind of races there are first. Classification is core to this stuff.
Do you?
The lieutenant looks toward the harbor's electronic door, and then to you.
You are obviously a liberal. There are 3 categories of race. heroic races. Tibet, the servile races, and the vile CF race cauldron of pederasty. Which one do you need education on? I knew you would go straight for the vile.
Yeah, I mean, other.
Yes, it would seem nonsensical.
Tibet are
the Koikos of Grad. You.
Yes. To one pinkness is a race. The Koiko. The Revasholia.
Is it 82,000 years that we've been recording history? You have very little idea of what is happening. But that seems a little off.
The revolution came to the revolution. Enough of Tibet mediocrity. Those are a receding genetic pool has led the mound on the Vespertine. The other law overproduction of as proven by the mound and the mask. The Areopagi, the latter.
Nature was not capable of more.
Tips CF are a museum of lesser the mosquito.
It seems unlikely that two human beings produce genetically sterile offspring.
You are right. You have misunderstood. Then there is the Koiko.
There is a strange sadness in his tone.
The heart.
He does not seem angry, nor does the woman look affected. She just twirls her hair. Perhaps they've been through.
You understand nothing. To solve the great race enigma, you need to internalize what you have heard here today. Then return to me. This clarity does not. I cannot possibly imagine what else we have to do.
This fan has two chain pull switches. Or has it been consigned there as punishment? You feel as though this creature is your friend and wants to reattach itself to your neck so that you may continue your adventures together in this strange world. The bed is cold and not particularly inviting, but it's yours. The sheet.
The option to go to sleep becomes available every night after 9 p.m.
I can't believe it. It felt like springtime just a few days ago.
you! Not before you get in there and get your ass whooped. Learn by failure, I always say.
He might have some advice, but you got to at least try to fight Measurehead first. Return if you fail.
The unpromising race pupil returns.
How did this happen? Your little fist is in his giant hand, and he's...
You must be out of your mind, degenerate drunk. Say it.
Your fist cracks in his hand like a rock.
The words to the song have changed. Good. Now leave before you humiliate your homoerotic organization any further.
Stanford, I hear you, officer. I'm just going to make a note here that you are in pursuit of your misplaced badge.
Fuck me! Mac, come here! You've got to hear this. Dick,
What's going on?
Super Cop here. He lost his badge. He lost his goddamn fucking badge.
10-9, come again.
New heights even for Ask him. Ask him if he's lost it.
Sergeant Orson wants to know if you lost your gun.
Check your pockets. Check your... Holy fuck. You don't know where it is, do you?